Hi everybody, welcome to Video Namaste.
Episode
Phase 2, Reel 3.
Phase 2, Reel 3. Phases.
We're on phases now.
now.
Oh, it was movements now, it was fucking...
Set phases to what the fuck is going on.
This episode of Video Namaste is brought to
you by Lynx.
And
I'm still stinking. I'm fucking howling.
a chalice of Skittles. Cheers.
Cheers to you and your tooth decay.
So, this particular Video Namaste is all about skiny films. This is part 3, so if you've missed part 1 and 2, you should probably go back and you'll see us talking about Monster Squad and Attack the Block.
Yep.
So, how you guys feeling so far?
Good. I've got a bit of flat arse, but that's fine. That's it. That's right.
I've drank enough water to drown a salesman. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling loosey goosey.
Good man.
I feel nice.
Lucy Busey.
Lucy Busey.
Oh, Gary's wife. It's Julia or Golia.
I'm gonna be Lucy Busey. Lucy Goosey.
Our third entry in the Skinnies is we're looking at Joe Dante.
Imagine there was a hole under your house and it seemed to be bottomless. You'd just use it to throw away your rubbish. Pizza boxes, old batteries, CDs by your mate's shite indie rock band. It would just be handy, you know? But hang on, what if a fucking spectre came out of it and put the willies right up you? Not so good now, eh? It's The Hole by Joe Dante.
The reason I picked this film specifically is because I think it's the only one of Joe Dante's films that is a straight kids film. You can tell that it's directed primarily at kids.
Explorers.
There's no like, oh shit, fuckers explorers too.
That's one I always forget about too.
I know. Because it doesn't feel like that much of a Joe Dante film though, I think. Because I kind of like the first half does.
It's kind of ambling-y.
It kind of feels like it was somebody else's. You know. Like Poltergeist isn't a Toby Hooper film kind of thing. You know.
I know.
And you could argue that's what makes it good. So The Hole is a straight kids film, and it's about these Waynes that move into a new neighbourhood, and like they've got to deal with all the pressures of that. But also just so happens that in the basement of their house is a gateway to fear itself. Mm-hmm. Like so, everybody has their own deep set fears, and this hole knows what these fears are, and it feeds on them, and then it sends out wee monsters to scare you based on those fears. It's that simple. But as the film goes on, you realise that it's actually about being wee and facing any obstacle like at all head on is the best way to deal with it, and it's even better if you've got pals to join you. And there's like the fears, the way they deal with the fears and stuff like that is really interesting because it is essentially, it's a horror. Like although it is a film,
it's scary as fuck.
Kids,
it's quite scary. Like see with the volume cranked like high as anything.
Aye.
It's fucking scary. It gives you good jump scares, man.
And the wee boy in it as well, Lucas, is like he's a wee boy for the Mist. Like his performance in that is
so it is.
He's brilliant, man. And there's one point in the film where his fear, he's got what's the clown phobia called again?
Is it clourophobia?
Cauliflower phobia. Like that guy. Like he has that. So like this wee clown comes to life, kind of like Poltergeist even, and it chases him about the place, and that's like the first fear that's really revealed, and it's like kind of the most obtuse one, I suppose, and that's probably why they picked that one, because it's like most folk have a wee bit of a fear of clowns anyway, so it's like relate to the audience, that's it, set you in, we're nice. And there's like one scene again, his performance, like after this wee clown tries to drown him in a pool.
killing me, dog.
But it's left with like this wee handprint, a wee clown handprint, and the whole time I just thought like it was like Jeremy Beadle's wee hand, and he was going to come out with snorkels like Beadle's about, like don't let me, only me, totally watching. And as the fears are like released, it's kind of the fears get more intense. So it's like clown for the wee guy, and then for the lassie, it's her dead sister again. I can't remember. It's somebody that's
It's a dead pal, isn't it?
It's a dead pal.
aye. Like, but at one point, like this ghost, this wee girl ghost, turns around and her eyes start bleeding, and she says, "I don't want to die." Like that's a weird film. It's nuts.
It's a funny one. Like I think it's the way that it's shot. Like when we watched it the other night, it was like I had no idea. I'd never heard of it. I mean, it's funny because there's a film called The Hole, but there's another film called The Hole that was out not too far away from it. But so when you put it on and it's got this shoot, it looks very TV.
What,
I don't know if it was made. Is it made for TV?
No,
it was.
it would have been the cameras because it was shot intentionally
is it
for
maybe
3D.
because it's 3D?
It was shot
of course.
for 3D,
Aye.
so I think it's got that shitty look to it for the cameras.
It kind of, but because of that, it has this weird kind of TV vibe to it. So you kind of feel like
It's
you're
funny,
watching like, and then it surprises you. That's the thing. Like I think your expectations are set because I was a bit like, oh, what's he got me watching?
I know because the wee guy shows up with a killer's t-shirt on.
The first shot of the main character, he's got a killer's t-shirt on.
But that's like,
And he's like, I'm a goth. It's like, pardon?
But then you forget. The other thing you forget as well is like the it's a kids film. It's made for kids, and it's like we're now too old for that film to be for us.
Yep.
So it's like.
But that's how it makes you think to begin with. But then it takes a tonal shift in the third act and a visual shift, and it goes ski with just slightly, and the lighting changes completely. And then when it takes you to the place, when it takes you to the whole, the theme that the killer's laddie, the big brother, the theme that he's afraid of is a shade more adult.
Yeah,
and something that you can kind
So like
of
the
relate
reason
to.
that they move in the first place, they have to relocate often because they are running away from an abusive father, and he's kind of like I think was he still in jail or something like that, and every now and then he tracks him down. So like the older brother, his big fear is it's kind of like this just a figure. It's not really like a specific, like it's no his dad. He's not like a photo of his dad, and then his dad's coming about with a big chain. Like I'm going to.
It's just like it's like a big overbearing father figure, a big powerful. Like he's like a mountain
It's interesting.
man.
They make
basically.
it. They enlarge him because that's how. Well, because when last time he saw his dad, he would have been smaller. But
Yeah,
also
exactly.
That's
Aye.
Welcome home, boy. I knew I'd find you hiding in that same closet. Just like back when you let your brother take the beating for you.
That's not true.
Remember his arm? Could you hear it crack from inside there?
I didn't know what you were gonna do. I didn't think you would hurt him.
Sure you did. You were just scared.
I'm not scared of you.
You wouldn't be here if that was true. You've been afraid your whole life.
Not anymore. Because you can't hurt me now.
So there is like nice little details like that, which I kind of quite appreciate.
Yeah, and like when he does eventually face his fears, these are very adult things to deal with as a child, and that's specifically why I picked this one, because everything that all the kids have dealt with in other Joe Dante films, like none of them have been as dark as an abusive dad, and the fact that it's specifically made for Wayne's. It, like, you know, kind of just amplifies like the. But it also, I think it's real. I've done it again. It's really good. the beaver S. Really good. For like, you know, like I love when kids films tackle big subjects like that, because like, you know, if you do come from a broken home or something like that, and it isn't dealt with in films that often, or if you have like abusive parents or whatever, it's never dealt with in kids films or anything really. So like when a film like that tells you to deal with your fears face on and you'll survive them, I think that's good. I think that can really help like somebody that's maybe gone through something like that, you know. I think that's, it's one of the few films out there that does something like that, and I think it's brilliant. I think Wayne's need that.
But it also like it goes just another like shade deeper with that as well, because it tackles the abusive dad thing, but it also tackles the big brother's guilt, because the big brother has to face his own fear, like, and his own guilt, because when his dad was gonna hit him, he let his wee brother take the beating instead. So he's dealing with his own guilt for that, as well as the fact that it's an abusive dad. So it goes just an extra wee dive in. Well, it doesn't need to, but it gives it just like another
and it
edge
kind of
to it,
lends itself to the relationship between the brothers as well, which is something that adds to the whole skiny vibe of it, because like they call each other Dick and Dickhead, and that's like again what we were talking about earlier. It's rated 12 as well, so I think that kind of helps. Like, but like it's one of these things. It's like if it came out in the 80s, it would have been a PG.
That's it.
You know, you're like, how many shits or bastards can you get in kids films like back in the day? Like Jesus.
Like the thing that I got for the whole, especially like I liked it the first time I watched it, but I liked it a lot more this time watching it, and I was worried because I was like, I think I'm going to go back to this and not like
It's
it.
a fucking Killers t-shirt.
I've only watched it once because it was the first time I watched it for doing this, because it was it was Danny's choice. But I was, like I said, when I went into it, I was a bit like, I don't know if this is going to be for me. And then I got surprised, and it was. I was quite surprised at the tonal shift, and I started to really enjoy it, and it was genuinely quite creepy stuff. But then it does that thing where towards the end it kind of loses it a wee bit, just because it gets a bit too wild. And for me anyway, it's just
when he faces his fears.
when they end up in the hole.
I really liked that. Like, see when they went all ski with, like, see like when Bill and Ted go to hell.
Yeah,
it's got that like kind of ski withness, and the fact that they're just like floating through like some sort of weird purgatory and all that. I kind of got on board with that. I went and seen it at the pictures, and the 3D was fine, and you can tell that bit's really to show 3D. There's stuff flying about, of course, you know, all that guff. But like actually, just that wee section as it's saying, I was like, cool, man, because it has went that far. It could have kept the whole, just as the whole thing's crawling into it. That's it. But it let you go deep into it, and it just let you go. Alright, so it's no hell, or it's no like a crawl space full of shit. It's literally just your fears amalgamating into something physical. It's like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Totally. And like the I know what you mean though, like it with the actual like production design and that, and how
I think the CGI maybe is
but like the thing is, it's supposed to look like, this is like the fear of a child, so it's kind of like this abstract
well, it's black and white like these drawings as well.
Exactly, aye. So that kind of harks back to that too, but it's brilliant, because at times although they're kind of rough and tumble, these brothers, like if fucking the wee man flings a basketball at his brothers, like if
throws it at his fucking heat,
aye, does he fucking right?
Certainly,
I totally like so. And it's like you think at times it's like, are they violent because of what they've been through, or are they just like?
I think it's brotherly violence.
Yeah, no, totally. But like that to me, it's like.
You've got a sister, don't you?
Yes.
Grew
You kind of
up
grew up
an only child.
That's the thing, is like the shit that me and my brother used to do to each other was brutal.
Like Shannon knocked my teeth out with a telly remote and all that. It's like you
my brother electrocuted me. He fucking the bastard.
The cheek.
He
blimmin' cheek of the bastard.
Like honestly, like we were having we used to have fights about the stupidest things. It was always like. It was always like over something like fucking track and field 2 or something. But it was like,
you're using the turbo. You're fucking using the turbo. I can see it.
That did happen.
Yes.
But it was like, there was one time we were having a fight, and the telly, the plug socket for the plug for the telly, we were sort of fighting about, and somebody knocked the top off the plug, and he grabbed my hand and slammed it down on the open plug while it was on. And I remember the shake and the screaming, like. But the worst thing is like it didn't stop the fight. It came off, and then I fucking launched myself out.
Yes, not a bit chutzpah. I like it. But when I watched the whole this time, I got a lot thinking, like, to me for this watch, the whole was like confrontation and resolution, kind of within the purview of a single instance, because there's a lot of lives not a lot of lives, there's like two lives kind of crossing in different tenses as well, which sounds fucking stupid, but like they've just moved into the town, whereas the lassie that they make pals with has always been part of the town, so it's kind of like a confrontation of like past and present as well, especially where they're trying to get away from their dad, they're trying to make a new life and change, whereas she's always been there and she's got like a kind of thing to confront as well about her pal dying.
I'm sorry. That's okay. We're so hot. Just like before. You let me fall! No!
So it shows you that, like, no matter where you're moving in your life, if you've been stuck in the same tune for like forever, or if you've been on the move constantly and you're there,
right,
like
You've
everybody's got something to confront, and everybody's got something that's there for that scares them, or that they regret, or something like that. And that's kind of what I got at this time.
Aye, totally. I never thought
If that makes sense.
No, totally. Aye. And I think the last thing I want to say about the whole is like these ones are doing stuff that you did when you were wee. Although they're the protagonists and stuff like that,
Playing in the next door neighbour's pool.
They're playing in the next door, and
that's when I was like,
And they're doing things that you used to do when you were wee as well. It's like I relate to these guys because like I used to break into private property and that, and like they did that in Creepy Carol.
The bit with Bruce Dern's pretty great. I like Creepy Carol.
And Creepy Carol tells him the hole's going to kill you.
It saw you. You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have opened it. God damn it, why did you open it?
Look, okay, we just want to know if you built the hole and what it's about.
Nobody built the hole. The hole has been there since the world's first scream. And now it's gonna come for us. The darkness is gonna come for all of us. It's coming for you.
Hey.
And it's gonna kill you.
And he says something amazing. It's like it's been there since the first scream.
It's been there since the first recorded scream or something. That's like,
you're like, all right, okay.
I wish they'd used him more, because I love Bruce Dern as it is, but I'd like to have seen him just have a wee bit extra, like at the end helping them or something like that, like to give him an arc to end with. But it's still.
It's interesting that it has that kind of kids. Well, no, it's not a kids film structure, but it has a structure that you can tell is very well made for kids, where it's like some of the smaller details they just don't bother with. So, like they establish what's going on and that they've moved there, and they move really, really quickly to get the adults out of the picture. And then you know.
But they never vilify the adults either, which a lot of kids films do. And like actually a recurring theme with these films is that like a lot of the adults are actually like really affable and are also part of the unit, you know, or like, you know, help the unit in some way. And this film obviously does that too, but you've also got like good Joe Dante film cameos, like Dick Miller's in there as the pizza guy, doesn't have a line and stuff, but still it's like he's in there. It's always
just good to see him.
To have that moment you go,
and it seems like I fucking love Erie, Indiana, and I think this is like in that whole kind of era, like between Erie, Indiana and that, there wasn't a film that could have worked in the Erie, Indiana universe as well, I don't think, and the whole does.
There was
it seems like
Erie,
a kind of Monster of the Week idea,
right.
like, you know, that portal to hell somewhere. It seems like the boys could have, you know, dealt with that. So it's like,
like they've got an old Erie, Indiana plot line that they've picked up.
Totally.
No, totally.
And I see the guy that wrote this as well. The guy that wrote this wrote The Revenant.
Holy fuck, really? That's amazing.
Totally. And he made...
Not The Revenant was much writing involved. Leo grits his teeth times 40.
Gritting hearing intensifies.
He grits.
The writer wrote this for his Wayne.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's like, I just wanted to write something for the wee man, no?
I can say
No,
to you,
she's
I'd,
not.
like, I seen the whole opening. I seen the whole of its opening. I seen the whole opening weekend because I was really excited for it because it was out when I was working at the pictures, so I got to see it for free, and because it was a Joe Dante film, and it was fucking dead. It died a death when it came out. Like, nobody went and seen it. I think it run for maybe a week or 2 weeks.
Was
and
it
that
even
was it.
marketed? It's
Barely. Like, they had basically the DVD cover. Like, they had that as a poster, and that was it. And then they were just like, the biggest draw was that it was 3D, but like it was a scary 3D film for kids, so nobody wanted to take them.
It's that horrible middle ground where it's like, obviously it's a film for kids, but it's not
like Monster Squad's problem.
It's not fucking.
It's like, that's the thing though. It's like, if there's a horror element, you're always going to have a problem marketing it because nobody knows how to market a fucking horror. And if it's a horror movie for Wayne's, how just fucking try to deal with that, you know?
But it didn't do well. But it was good, and the 3D was no the best. But it was good to see it in the pictures.
That's the annoying thing, and I guess it's just my problem more than anyone else's.
3D too.
But it's not even like, I didn't watch it in 3D. I just say the production style and the stock that they shot it on. It just looked so like something you would. It's like
it looked clean.
You would look at it and think, was this made for, like, I did think
like
it might be made for
Channel
TV, and that's just me. Like, obviously, if you're a kid, you're not going to think about that. So then,
but I don't know. I think Wayne's would have maybe clicked with that too. Like, this looks cheap.
Depends if they've watched older films.
They don't have that expectation, and that they don't have they've no way to sort of say, oh, this is going to be a cheap shitty TV film. They'll just watch it. So I mean, I think it would be a great film for kids, someone of a particular age, and as you say, it's not a film made for us.
No,
and you have to appreciate that, but.
There's still a lot to love, though.
No, there is. That's what it's surprising. It's like I said, it constantly surprised me, and it was like, oh, okay, this is, because when I started watching it again, I had that, like, I felt like I was watching kids TV, and then it was like, and then it starts to get into it, and you're like, oh shit, right, okay, this is actually not too bad.
Like the stuff with the dad and the purgatory with the belt,
and the belt cracking the ground.
It's like the crack in the ground, and he hits the brother with it, just no qualms. He's like, oh, I'm not afraid of you. And the dad's like, alright. Cracks him with it, then like rips a fucking divot out the wall with it and stuff. It's like, this has gone for it, man.
I think that in terms of the cast, the wee brother was my favourite. I think
he was
such a great.
He was great.
And he looks like he took a doing as well. He fucking flings him against, like, he gets flung against a bookshelf at one point, and that's how they find the hole.
I was going to mention that as well. They find the only way that they find the hole is the fact that the two of them are fighting.
So
it's like it kind of digs that up for the fact that they're not getting on. So they're like, well, here's this then.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? But no, the hole's like, it's really like underseen and kind of underloved. I think people look at it the wrong way. If it wasn't marketed to be 3D and they decided not to base its shooting style around 3D, I think it would have been just a shade better looking as well.
No, I think so.
Because there is stuff where it's like there's like floating nails and that. You're like,
because the hole's again. If it was on Netflix, you would bang it on, you'd watch it for 5 minutes and go, no.
I know, and it's a shame because if you get a chance, it might surprise you, especially as it gets right deep into it, second half.
So that's the thing. It's like it kind of it breaks you into like the horror side of things. Like you get the slightest fear, the fear intensifies, and then you get to deal with, like, the biggest, like the fucking boogeyman.
That's it.
Cool. Well, so yeah, that's kind of that's what we need. That's what we mean. That's what we want to say about the whole. It's like, I think if you could watch it with a kid, definitely,
and reassure them, then let them watch it again on their own. Because that's where I'm still like,
yeah, totally. But then again, it's like, there are films you watch when you're wee that weren't meant to be horrors, that did have elements to them that were fucking terrifying.
That's it.
But this just kind of focuses a bit more on the elements that are terrifying. So I know, like, we've got like a group chat, and like when like the first thing that was said about it is like, oh no, he's got a killer's t-shirt. And I got the impression I was like, oh no, I've picked a shiter. Did you feel like you came round to it? And
I did a wee bit. Like I said, I didn't come out of it thinking that was
fucking tight, bro.
but like it was like I still enjoyed it. Like I watched it and I was like, really, I quite enjoy it. I'm not going to be rushing out to buy the DVD and watch all the special features around, but like I watched it and I was like, it's good. And no, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot, but like I said, production style and stuff like that maybe just let it down a wee bit. But like I said, it's not for me, and I could appreciate that if I was like 12, it would be great.
It's when I seen it, I was like, it's a 6 out of 10. But then I watched it again this morning and I was like, it's kind of a 7 for me now, just because of the extra stuff I kind of extrapolated for it. So I like
the T-shirt thing all the way through. I completely forgot to mention the title block, but the Monster Squad had the
Stephen King rules.
A title block had Granny Magnet. So each film, like Pest wears a T-shirt that says Granny Magnet, like right at the end when he's kind of open. It's fucking great. And then I was just like thinking of the quality of T-shirts: Stephen King, Granny Magnet, The Killers.
Anyway. I know, but it's like that. You look back at pictures of yourself as a teenager and you're like, oh, that's definitely a Cooler Shaker T-shirt.
I had one that was a monkey sitting on a toilet listening to an iPod and it says iPod.
I know the one.
Fucking send me to my bed. And now it's time for Keyword Roundup, where I pick the 10 best keywords for IMDb related to the whole 3D, short 3D. High five, portal to hell, pizza, 3-dimensional, text message, preteen, coulrophobia.
I don't want to know who's looking up that preteen tag.
Bathing the dog.
A Mother Love Bone song.
Bare midriff. And number 10, thrown into a pool. Coulrophobia is a fear of clowns, by the way, just in case anybody didn't know that.
How's it pronounced?
Coulrophobia. It's either coulrophobia or calrophobia. Alright. Got me a case of calrophobia. Then that's it. That's keyword roundup for the whole. Thank you very much.
So moving on to feedback. What have we got?
Feedback. We have at 87th asks, which grown-up horror films did you enjoy the most when you were kids? No, maybe not scared you, maybe not thinking, but what grown-up horror film did you enjoy most as kids, if any, if you watched any when you were kids?
I think that was a total waste when it came to horror. I never watched any. I was like that kid. I was like, no, I don't want to watch it.
I don't like it.
there was like Dwayne, look at me. No, there was like in our house especially, we were fairly sheltered. The only films that my dad liked was black and white World War II films, and the only film my mum liked was Sleepless in Seattle. No fucking joke. So we didn't grow up with a lot of good horrors in the house, and I'm the oldest in the family, so it was looked up to me to provide fucking my cousins with other films. So I never had an older cousin that was like, you should watch this. So the only person like that in our family was my gran, but even then she wasn't too hot in horrors, so I didn't really see horrors until maybe I was in high school and I started to get into like goth shit and like found pals for there who then we all brought it in. But I think maybe the first horror I truly remember enjoying was, and I've spoken about it before, is Fright Night, the original.
Oh yeah.
That's my favourite film of all time basically, but that was one that my granda showed me when I was wee, and I was scared by it, but I was kind of thrilled by it as well, and I really appreciated like that sort of thing.
It's funny, like, because when I said like anything that you would properly class as a horror, I watched a lot of. The funny thing is I watched a lot of incredibly violent 80s action films.
We were all weaned like Predator and Aliens and Rambo and all that.
It's like the equivalent of like no setting a password on your Netflix account, so your brain just goes on and sees whatever. Like the equivalent for us growing up, I think, is getting your your mummy or dad's Azad card or a global card and gone in and like I was talking to Gav about this the other night. I was talking to my mate about this the other night. He's like, he's saying like the first time that he seen RoboCop was when he was 9, and that like this exact same thing happened to me but with different films. Like he went down and picked up this film that he wanted to see and another. It was like a Wayne's film and RoboCop, and the guy that worked at Azad was like, "Is that for your dad?" I was like, aye. And that's how we got into RoboCop. But in terms of, I don't know, when I was wee, I was kind of lucky in the sense that my mum was she was a big horror fan anyway, so like that was on all the time. But she was kind of, my taste is formed around her bias. Because like she would hate like she liked Nightmare on Elm Street but none of the sequels. So I think like as a Wayne there was something that I clicked with Freddy. Like he was kind of a bit of a hero as well because
he's an MTV icon, like.
Yeah, exactly. But it's before they made him like a cartoon figure, you know. So Nightmare on Elm Street was popular with me, but I think my favourite growing up is between Halloween and The Omen. Like I watched The Omen. Well, my mum sat me down when I was pretty young, but I was that thing. It's like she knew I was old enough to cope with it. So she was like, "So look, this film's about a wee boy that might be the devil's son, and it's quite violent, and somebody hangs herself, but it's all tomato sauce." I'm like, fucking stick it on.
As long as you explain that things in films aren't real.
But everything like
that's all that matters.
That's
what you need.
Like I've told the story a few times, but I had a similar experience to RoboCop. It was like my mum's friend owned a video shop, and her kids.
Fucking dream.
I know her kids were all older than me, so I got left with the kids quite a lot, and we just used to sit through the back and watch videotapes. But that's how I saw RoboCop. That's how I saw RoboCop for the first time, and my stepmother's an alien. But as a kid, like watching RoboCop, there was no I was so disconnected from what was going on. Like it was so like I watch RoboCop now and I wince at the violence, but as a kid I had no kind of idea of what it is. It's like, you know, you're just watching it and you're like it's like the boy that gets covered in the toxic waste, like that was funny to me as a kid. I mean, it's kind of funny now, but like when you watch it back you're like, fuck.
Like when Kenny gets shot to fuck. You're like, as a Wayne, you're just like, it's just like, it's daft and it's fantasy in your head, but when you see it now, you're like, that'd be fucking agony.
And like the actual, like the scene where Murphy's tortured, it goes on for ages and it's fucking brutal. There's that like arc pan around him and like you see his head explode, like as he's already had his horn shot off. And it's nuts, man. It's got fucking gruesome.
I know.
But there was none of us grew up watching like fucking Rosemary's Baby. I did. Oh, Daddy did. Look at him now, kids. Not Nixon asks, where should I start when introducing my kids to horror? Something with laughs thrown in.
Monster Squad.
Well, that's it. I'd say Monster Squad. I would say.
No, I'd say straight horror. If you're introducing the fuck it.
Actually, killer.
Straight into Martyrs. Fuck it. There you go, son.
Right.
No, if you think, it's all down to, like what we were saying earlier, it's all down to whether or not you think what your Wayne's ready for.
How you feel about your kids.
I'd say Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. I'd say I would maybe even walk back. Ghostbusters
Gremlins.
2, then 1. Ghostbusters
Really?
2, then 1. Because Ghostbusters 2 isn't as scary as 1.
I know,
and it's cartoonier than so. Like if you're trying to really ease them in, then.
But if you want AI, I think a good way of doing it is like introducing them to fun horror. So, like, you know, and if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. The reason I said go in with just a straight horror is because it's like know the format, know what you know, so that you can then appreciate, like as I did like later in life, films like Fright Night and that. Well, looking in my teens and realising, oh fuck, I can have fun like with this horror as well, you know, and like that was cool. And like I realised what made a horror good, and then like, you know, what subgenre I liked. You know?
I think when you talk about when not that we want to in any way endorse just showing 18 certificate films to kids
violence, but
I just mean the stuff that's kind of over the top and just so distant from being real. That's
like Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
that's no technical horror film, but it's made by a guy who is obviously the master of horror, so it's got a lot of things thematically and visually in there, but it's a fucking adventure film, and like films like Beetlejuice as well. Like
Beetlejuice is a good. Yeah.
They're scary, but like Beetlejuice is a big goofy fucking clown basically,
but it does have its genuine scares.
It is frightening, and
I think what's good now is we've got a big variety. Like we've got a broader choice of films of that specific genre. Like now we've got films like Housebound and stuff like that. And like Housebound.
Did you Housebound to a child?
No, would you know?
No, that fucking put the shiters up them, man.
Aye,
But it's funny.
It's funny, but it's scary. It's really scary.
But when I was wee, I loved being scared.
I think it'd be dastardly to show your child Housebound before like Beetlejuice.
When I think about things like The Thing, and I think about like contorted faces and all that sort of stuff, I guess it depends. Like something like that, even while it's quite sort of fantastic and daft.
Alien would be a good one.
Well, I was going to say something like The Thing might not be right, because it's like it's taking something that you see every day and making it slightly monstrous. So that might be. So
I've got a wee list here of the kids horror films. If you want me to kind of just scoosh through them now.
Sure.
Just as wee recommendations, I've got The Gate.
Oh, The Gate's a good one.
The Gate with Dorf. There's Goonies there, obviously. Attack the Block. Paranorman, Coraline, the Goosebumps film. The Goosebumps film.
I've not seen it yet.
It was fucking great, man. It's really good. Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is probably the best film to start your child out with horror, because it's not a horror comedy. It's a horror for kids, and it's fucking scary. But and the protagonists are children. It's about like a demented circus, basically. It's great. E.T., Little Monsters, and then Super 8 as well. So there's just a kind of wee list, just to kind of round you off there.
A wee starter.
Yep. And then one last question here from Steak Stoter at No Stopping Epoch.
Alright, sorry.
What did you watch as kids that genuinely scared you? Has it influenced your tastes, fears, or fetishes? Now, I know for a fact I can answer this quick as anything.
Sorry, the next door neighbour's doing their washing.
Next door neighbours, they're shagging a tyre out.
Ow, my bum.
My bum, I need some brasso in my bum. The scariest thing that I ever watched that genuinely frightened me, and me and my sister still talk about it, that we can't really watch it, was The Witches. The Witches as a child. We had The Witches on a double DVD as a child. Fucking for the future. A double VHS. The first film was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and the second film was The Witches. We could never finish The Witches because it fucking terrified us. That's scary. It is really scary.
Yes, no, I'm exactly the same. The Witches freaked me the fuck out.
Yep, it is fucking freaky. Like
exactly. No, it's back.
Like when they reveal themselves and transform and take their masks off and like they're like actual proper hook-nosed witches, baldy, chasing the wee boys out as rats wanting to eat them. That fucking
the camera work there as well. It's so invasive.
Like Nicholas Rogue's cameras and stuff. But then also fueled my fetishes a wee bit. Because I dress up as a rat and I ask folk to stand on me.
Do you know I became sort of irrationally scared of the T-1000 at one point because I was having nightmares about him. But then I realised that it wasn't the film, and it was like
the possibility you can get in it.
Well, I think I guess the idea of not. The relentlessness of him was one thing that did terrify me a wee bit. But I had Terminator 2 on the NES, and there was at one point it has this full screen 8-bit representation of Robert Patrick, and it put the shits up me because it was like it didn't look right. And it was like it's something that's carried on. That's one of the things that I like in horror. One thing that puts the shits up me in it is low picture fidelity. When something's shot in a way that's kind of, and I don't mean like not revealing or shot so it's shaky handy cam so you can't quite see what's going on. I'm talking about like when the picture's degraded, or if it looks like it's an old videotape, or
like an 8mm film or something like that.
Texas Chainsaw's got that vibe to it. You can smell that film, man.
And the footage in Prince of Darkness as well. And it's like this footage that's basically for the future, and it's like for the church, and it's the door of the church, and it's just a shadow in the church doorway with like light coming from behind it, and it's like so scary, so scary. Aye.
I think something that I remember, it's no film, but it's like something that really terrified me. The thing that I remember really informing my fears, even as an adult, I hate when like there's something subhuman about someone, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That, like, you know, this fucking scream, like that was totally. That still goes through me. And
it's been ruined by 4chan.
And watching the Thriller video when I was wee, and see when like the transformation and stuff like that, and he isn't what you expect him to be, and the fact that he was my hero at that point as well, like my music hero, you know, like, and he turns into a monster. I was like, Michael, no. It's probably how Macaulay felt. And like and like with eyes, I see that.
Oh, he's doing the beaver S's.
Sorry, peak.
The beaver S.
And like when characters' eyes like are like glowing or
roll back,
that's like that freaked me out, and that still kind of freaks me out. Like even the fucking music video for Total Eclipse of the Heart, like with the light eyes.
That's a freaky video, man. That's a freaky video. The choir.
And the guy starts flying towards him. You're like, oh, fuck off. No, I like that. That still freaks me out. And another one was, I suppose this counts because the first one's like a movie, a feature length episode. V. Like, see when they took their faces off, like that. I was terrified of Diane.
It's really good.
It's brilliant. So fucking good.
Aye.
And like Robert Englund's in it as well, and like he's he's like he's playing an affable
Michael
character
Ironside as well.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go. He's just got me.
I suppose that can inform my fetish as well, because I fancied Diane Tay, and like, and maybe that's why. Maybe that's why my first few girlfriends were kinda arseholes. It's like I was like, I fancy you, but I kinda want you to upset me. Somewhere down the line.
You were saying, Richie, about having nightmares through the T1000. I remember distinctly, I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
T1000 in Kirkliston Primary School, that was...
It was the premiere on Channel 4 from Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, aye.
I watched that and then went to my bed right after it, and I had fucking such a bad night terror for it. For the vampires, because I wasn't expecting it. I never knew about Dusk Till Dawn. I stayed up late in my house, and it was like basically the first maybe that was like the first month I was ever allowed a telly in my room. And that was one of the first things I watched, and it turned out the vampires, and I was scared shitless. I had like bad night terrors for watching Dusk Till Dawn.
That's good, man. That's good. Because like, you expect to watch like a heist film or something.
I was a weak child.
You must have been like, right.
Oh, another one, fucking Silence of the Lambs. When I watched that when I was wee, and I seen the claw marks in the well.
God.
That fucking
Aye.
That film, man.
Oh Christ.
We should talk about the Hannibal Lecter trilogy.
No.
Because there's only one kitchen.
Aye. No, twa.
What? Oh well, Manhunter. No. Anyway, sorry. And that's it. That's the question.
So thanks for your feedback.
Thanks for your feedback, guys. Really appreciate it.
So we hope you've enjoyed our journey through Skint Knee Films.
Aye, it's great.
I hope it spurred you on to go and look out some more.
I hope we didn't bore the whole off you. I hope we're making it exciting. We've got enthusiasm, and you want to maybe watch these films. Maybe no all three, but maybe there's one that you've picked that you're kind of got to have a wee shot with.
But also, remember, they're all like an hour and a half as well. So if you've got 4.5 hours to spare,
it's good. Bang on whenever you're having your tea.
I would start with a whole, then Attack the Block, and then Monster Squad. That's how I'd do it. Is that how you guys would do it?
Yep. But also, I hope it's made you remember films that you enjoyed when you were wee.
Aye. And if there's any that yous have got that yous want to talk to us about, just message us. Just tweet us at Video Namaste. At Video Namaste.
At Video Namaste. Yes. Or if there's one of us you like more than the others, just find a
just drop us a wee DM. We'll answer you for a $5.
Bye.
Bye.
We found your hole, and